So every year I do a Christmas special episode of the Sam Old Show, and over the years we have had different guests, but one person always manages to make an appearance. So ladies, gentlemen, and others, presenting to you Santa Claus. So yeah, it's hell of a lineup, man. Sorry, heaven of a lineup. And for that I have Santa Claus with me this time because we've always seen him on the Christmas special episode. So this bar just want to do a little build up to that. Santa, how did you come into existence? That is one question that I've got from my audience a lot. Please.
So, most of the people, there's this rumor that has spread out that my real name is Santa Claus, which is not true because Santa Claus is like my rap name. My real name is Saint Nicholas. I was made a saint because I was a good guy who helped, orphaned and underprivileged children who were stuck and starving in winters with gifts and food around Christmas. So then my rap career took off, and as in gift rap career took off, and my gift rap name, which is Santa Claus, took off. And then that became mainstream. But if you're a real one, if you're a day one, you would know that I prefer Saint Nicholas.
Saint Nick.
Yeah. Saint Nick or Saint Nicholas.
Yeah. And let's go a little piche. And I wanted to ask, how do you qualify to be a saint?
Because I helped, starving, cold children, orphaned.
वो तो वरुण प्रुति भी करता है.
Varun Pruthi is not doing it in like snow-ridden areas, no? वो tropical, subtropical regions में Delhi वैली में कर रहा है.
Yeah. So only if you do it in snow.
मतलब तब के standards के हिसाब से तो वही था.
Okay. And when was this?
ये तो था bro, like काफी time हो गया.
I'm assuming 1400s. Yeah, that's what.
1 century तो हो गया. 1400 मैं तो स्कूल में था, फिर कुछ 14-15 के बीच में ही था.
And the thing is, you used to cover the whole earth in one night.
हाँ भाई, इतना पेट्रोल खर्चा होता था ना भाई. तुम्हारे जमाने में तो इजी हो गया भाई, यूपीआई से कर ले. तो मेरे को पहले दुबई वगैरह जाके वहां से लेना होता था, फिर वापस आना पड़ता था. फिर भाई रुडोल्फ बहुत चने खाता है, इतने ज्यादा चने खाता है. मतलब ठीक है, लाल नाक है, सबसे आगे लगाया हेडलाइट की तरफ.
I didn't know that deers also eat.
मुझे नहीं पता वो क्या खाते हैं.
So you just went with घोड़े चने खाते हैं तो
नहीं, मतलब होलसेल रेट्स पे मिल जाते हैं मेरे को चने. तो मैं अब जबरदस्ती गूगल थोड़ा ना करूंगा कि रेनडियर क्या खाते हैं. चल रहे हैं अभी भी मस्त. एकदम बढ़िया माइलेज दे रही है. 1 revolution
per hour.
नहीं, 1 revolution per liter.
चला
मतलब पेट्रोल का होता है ना,
पर किलो होता है.
हाँ, पर किलोमीटर इतना किलोमीटर पर लीटर होता है ना माइलेज. वैसे ही मेरा अर्थ रेवोल्यूशन लगता है.
Fair enough. So what is the most interesting thing that has happened with the reindeers, to be specific? Let's start with that.
भाई like काफी बार ऐसा हुआ कि मैं जैसे you guys might know कि अफ्रीका में बहुत वो हैं underprivileged बच्चे हैं, और क्या कहते हैं, उनके पास कोई चॉइस नहीं है but be a good kid because उनके पास बैड होने का ऑप्शन ही नहीं है. तो कभी बार ऐसा
Can you explain that a little more?
कि मतलब underprivileged बच्चे हैं ना, तो वो अब अच्छे हो या बुरे हो, they're underprivileged, तो उनको मेरे को हेल्प करने का बनता है. तो उनको मैं by default डाल देता हूँ. अच्छा,
तो they get a pass.
उनको बेसिकली वो है अलग से सब्सक्रिप्शन, वो है उनका. उनको पता नहीं वो सब्सक्राइब्ड है, बट
कोटा बेसिकली
काइंड ऑफ, या रिजर्वेशन.
The Santa goes for reservation, guys.
तो कोई बार ऐसा हो सकता है इसमें अफ्रीका के जंगलों में ड्राइव्स में जाता हूँ बच्चों के पास, तो रेनडियरों को कहीं पार्क करके जाता हूँ. वापस आ रहा हूँ तो भैंस को कानफटी में उधर भग रहे होते हैं क्योंकि टाइगर चुनी लाइन वाइन आ जाते हैं. उनको नहीं पता ना भाई कि ये मेरे रेनडियर हैं, ऐसी घूमने फिरने वाले डियर नहीं है.
Shit. What happens if a lion eats one of the reindeers?
खा नहीं पाते क्योंकि उड़ जाते हैं ना.
Oh yeah.
बाकी आवाज आ जाती है, नहीं वो तो घोड़ों की आवाज होती है, बट सिमिलर आवाज आ जाती है रेनडियर्स की भी. That's something that the African government should look into. When Santa is parking their reindeers, please tranquilize lions or something. एक बार मतलब मैं न्यूयॉर्क में था और मेरे को पार्किंग टिकट काट दी. मतलब I've been doing this for centuries. तुमने भी ट्रैफिक रूल्स अभी कुछ 100-150 साल पहले एस्टैब्लिश किया. 150 भी नहीं, 100 साल पहले सपोज. पहले अब मैं क्या रेजर्वेटेड पार्किंग स्पेस मांगू, मैं हैंडीकैप लोगों की तरह पार्क करूं कहीं पे.
Fair enough.
Is that what you guys want?
No, we don't want that.
At least give me a senior citizen parking space, no?
Yeah, you should fall under that.
तो भाई सुबह में भी मैं चिमनी से नीचे आ रहा हूँ, आज तक कोई दरवाजा नहीं खोल के रखता मेरे लिए.
But you maintained the color of your beard pretty well for this.
वो मेरी मिसेस.
Yeah, tell us a little more about Mrs. Claus. How is she doing? How are things between you guys?
मस्त चल रहा है. केक बना रही है तो उसका और कुछ आता नहीं. केक, जिंजर ब्रेड और कुकीज बना रही है.
And how is the relationship going between you?
मस्त चल रहा है.
is like doesn't it get a little monotonous that you're working only in December and the rest of the time you guys are together and eating each other's head or
So I stopped listening after eating, but
okay.
it's about perspective. So you guys think of us as being relevant around Christmas time, and for the rest of the year we are absent.
Yeah.
Absent doing our own thing. You can catch us in Hawaii sometimes around June, July.
Okay.
In April, sometimes I'll help out the Easter bunny, collecting. They're very fragile eggs, so I send some of my elves down to help the bunny. Baki, we keep vacationing around the year, man, because it's fun when you have your own private jet kind of situation. You can just fly out because I only have to work 1 month of a year.
Yeah.
So for the rest of the 11 months, I can do what I want.
It's like the opposite of summer holidays for you.
Yeah, it's like my job is to be retired.
Fair enough, yeah.
And I am old enough to be retired.
And what about continuing this legacy? Is there some baby clause that you would hand this over to?
A baby clause would come with its own clause, no? About taking over the family business.
Yeah.
And I don't want to risk that. So I think as long as I'm alive.
Do you believe in kids? I mean, you love kids, that is why you give gifts. But what about having your own kid?
So if I have my own kid, he or she will, in some part of the future, claim some part of my business or have some kind of an issue with me, doing this big ass business for kids around the world.
Yeah. The jealousy factor.
And not exclusively for them, exactly, jealousy. So.
And to the contrary of it, I think there's a little biasness would also come and keep, let's say, our kid.
Yeah. Plus, think of what the society would think. No, I'm a grown-ass man, I have my own kids, but instead of looking after them, I'm taking care of every other kid in the world. So it's not fair to them. And I will be taking care of them, but you know how society is. They will make up their own stories.
But it's interesting how you call this a business. So I wanted to understand how much of the equity lies with the different stakeholders, like the reindeer are like they the owners of the business, or the elves. Is there something that they own or Mrs. Claus?
So the elves have their own union, and I completely support that. They only work like Monday to Fridays. They get Saturdays and Sundays off. That's why probably you might find a delay in your ordered gift deliveries this year. Apart from that,
they don't work the whole year, and then
they get a lot of commissions. Like they get 10% of cookies that I collect. From the entire world, and you know how many cookies that is.
Yeah.
Exactly. And apart from that, they always have, access to Mrs. Claus's kitchen so they can grab any amount of gingerbread, etc. It's like a family. It's less of a workspace, more of a family. So we all know it's everyone's responsibility to take care of this tradition and carry the legacy forward.
So it just seems like the elves are like your kids in this case.
Sort of. More like my minions, but they are still family.
What if they revolt?
They've not yet gotten a reason to revolt against me. If they do have a problem, they would come up and talk to me about it. Why would they start a revolt against an old man like me?
Fair enough.
So.
And what about this image that you have? Like, since times are changing now, especially in the last 20 years, there has been the Gen Z generation versus what our parents used to be like. So I feel like everyone needs to evolve with time. So how are you planning? Are you planning to do that? Because I see a change in the color of the beard. There are shades coming on. This wasn't there earlier.
It was kind of tough to keep up with the change, but because I have had weird encounters. I've seen really good kids who have been good kids throughout the year, and when they send me their gift wish list is someone's OnlyFans. They're asking for someone's OnlyFans and shit like that. So it makes me wonder, are you truly a good kid, or were you pretending to be a good kid throughout the year so that?
But does that mean that Santa is against OnlyFans?
No, I did give the kid the OnlyFans that he was looking for. He was a good kid, so why would I do that to him? He kept the contract.
But then after having that OnlyFans, access to OnlyFans, does he become a bad kid?
We'll see that this year, no? If he's been a good kid or not. He's going to send me a wish list. But if he's not been good enough with the OnlyFans that I gave him last year.
How do you judge someone if they are... So, no, not a good kid in general. Of course, that's a subjective thing to you. But in this case with OnlyFans, how do you decide?
So, OnlyFans and things like that are, kind of newer things in the society. And back in the days when I started out, I would say, especially for the first 500,000 years, not 1,000 years, 500 years, I was doing it all by myself, like QA, QCing, quality checking each kid and their attributes. And back then it was simple, but then the human population grew up so much that I had to eventually hire a team.
Yeah.
And they have like Excel sheets and things like that, which they, analyze different attributes of every child in the world who wishes to be a good kid. And similarly, we have a bad kid system also in place, and they keep me in check. And it's very efficient because like sometimes I'll be in flight, almost about to deliver to this particular kid, but even at the end moment, if they find like one wrong attribute or something, they'll cancel it at the end moment. And like my sleigh comes with automated features which can immediately turn gifts into a bag of coal.
Oh, that's nice. But then I don't see how coal is the right way to go out, because it's like if you're giving a bad kid coal, उसका हुक्का बना के पी लेगा.
So does that change the fact that he was a bad kid? I'm giving him a choice.
That's like a gift for him only, no?
No, I'm giving him a choice, no? Why did God put Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, which had that specific tree which grew that fruit?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
But okay, talking about, like you said, in recent times, places like India and China where the population is so much, how do you manage stuff over here?
Again, this is the simplest answer I'm ever going to give. BPOs from India and Bangladesh, call centers. I have call centers in India and Bangladesh. And their whole job is to process order deliveries and analyze, applications for gifts around Christmas. And I don't want to sound corny, but it's pretty cheap in India and Bangladesh. So
okay.
And that's how I manage it. China has been acting very sus with the gifts.
Okay.
Because most of the gifts that I have been delivering to the kids in China were made in China. So I don't know what type of a nationalist thing they're going with that in there.
Any other stories that you have about delivering gifts or finding someone on Christmas Eve? How does it get? How is it for you?
There was this one time I delivered a gift in prison. There was this one guy who was wrongfully said to be guilty, and he's serving a life sentence. So it was kind of tough, man. Everyone just kept throwing soap in front of me, asked me to pick it up, and I'm like, no, I'm just here for this one guy to give his gift, and I'm leaving. I'm not a jail person, not a staff here. I'm Santa, if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think they would have heard of it, because if they were a good kid, they would have not been in jail, right?
Yeah. But not necessarily, just one.
Does Hitler get a gift? Did he get any gifts in his lifetime?
He did ask me for a paintbrush once.
Why?
Because he wanted to join art school.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was a good kid for that 1 year. So I got him that paintbrush. Then as far as
I want to know, how did his list keep changing of things? Like art school, paintbrush. What was the next thing he asked for? An atom bomb, gases?
When he was, like the first time he reached out to me was with a letter asking for a paintbrush. And he told me that he wanted to join art school and become a painter. So I was like, yeah. And he's been a good kid. So I got him the paintbrush. In fact, I got him some paint brushes and some paint so that he could, pursue this art career. But then after that, like after a couple of months, I started receiving letters from him saying that I've joined the art school, but the teachers there don't appreciate my work.
Yeah.
Basically, not doing very well with the paint gift set that I got him. But I didn't realize things had gotten worse when after a couple of years, he didn't reach out to me after that. But after a couple of years, he reached out saying that he needs like weapons of mass destruction and shit like that. And I was like, I have it, but I'm not.
You have weapons of mass destruction?
This is off the record.
Okay.
But like, I have it, but I don't feel comfortable giving it to you. Plus, you haven't reached out to me for these many long years. So it kind of felt like थोड़ा मतलब ही हो रहा था वो कि अगर काम है तभी reach out करेगा.
Fair enough.
So and at that point, it doesn't even matter if you're a good kid or a bad kid. And then उसके बाद से he kept reaching out. I think this is the time around what you guys call World War I or II or something.
Yeah.
He kept reaching out, asking for codes, Morse codes, and weird things like that. He even asked me once in a letter if I've met God and things like that. But I never responded. I always.
What about Kanye West? What does his wish list look like?
I think he's pretty sorted. He doesn't want any gifts as of now. He can afford whatever he wants. Kanye West has been a very good aid to the Santa program.
How?
Like, if there has been times when I have lagged in budget to cover the entire children population of Earth, he reaches out and helps.
Yeah, I know about the philanthropy side of things. Yeah,
not in terms of just like money, but in terms of like concept and execution of things. I don't want to brag, but very poor children have received Yeezys this year, or will receive Yeezys this year.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks to Mr. Kanye West.
That's amazing. And I would just like to end with the last and the most sought out question in this world. And how do you make it to Santa's good child list or the naughty list? What is the criteria?
So, hey, if you think you're a good kid and you really yearn for something that you want, just shoot in your application and join the waitlist. I have a team that's spread out the entire world. It's a hybrid workspace. We all work from home.
Okay, fair enough.
So we'll process your application, but don't feel bad because I only let the goodest of the goodest kids, join the system. But if you don't make it to the list this year, don't worry. You can try next year. Maybe there's some things you need to correct about yourself. Focus on that. And please ask for reasonable things, not stupid things like OnlyFans. I still have a lot of OnlyFans to spread out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think that was Santa, ladies and gentlemen. You may see him again on the Christmas special episode. That is being shot as you watch this.
Yes.
And it will be out on 21st of December. See you then again, Santa. Thank you so much.
Launch,